All right, we are filming for new Port Richey's market stats for June. I do that at the beginning now, so that way I don't have to watch like 30 seconds just to figure out what video we're trying to edit.
Okay. Are we ready to go?
We're ready. We're live and rolling.
All right. Da-da-da-da. All right. So you Googled, is Newport Richey a great market to buy in 2026? I'm Jimmy B. This is Annie O, the realtors you need to know with LPT Realty. And today we're going to break down a little bit of market stats for Newport Richey through the month of June. Now, median sales price has dropped from 300,000 last year to around 275,000 this year. And because of that, 31% more sales have happened, and the median days on market is only 31. So this is a great area for entry-level buyers to get in, and because of the demand, sellers are winning if they price the market well. So we're going to go into some more stats here and break it down for you even further.
Love that. All right, so let's talk about the amount of new listings that are on the market right now. We ended May with 360 new ones on the market, which is roughly 11% more than that same time for 2025. But here's the good news. If you're a seller, you'd be like, oh no, way more competition. However, the amount of buyers that came out, just kind of like how Jimmy mentioned about the stats of how many more sales there were, we had 31% more buyers on the market looking and everything. So even with our jump of only 11%, we still had an increase of demand over 30% of the supply that we had. So if you're a seller, that's fantastic news. You want to hear that there's plenty of buyers out there for your property.
All right. Yeah. And then, like I had mentioned in our intro, the median sales price for Newport Richey through the month of June is $275,000. This is a great market for Tampa Bay for the under 300K price point. It's absolutely fantastic. But if you're a seller, a potential seller, don't fret. Even though the prices have dropped, the demand is much higher because of that, with a 31% increase in demand. So what we're seeing is that a market correction, not a market crash, is actually working, and we're seeing a healthier market in this area.
So people are still buying?
Absolutely.
Even though people have said that there's a crash happening?
Correct.
Go figure,
There
guys.
is no market crash happening anytime soon, guys.
Right? All right, so talking about the inventory, we talk about months of supply, and that basically means how many are, if no new properties came on the market, how long would it take to sell? And right now, Newport Richey is sitting at about 1.35, which is down from 1.59 just last year. So it's actually less on the market than what we've had previously, which again kind of goes in line with everything we've been saying about the whole there's more demand than there is supply available. So again, if you're a seller and you've been kind of on the fence about, hey, is it a good time? You can't really get much better than this in terms of the stats and what the data is showing. We have way more buyers out there than we do inventory. So that's a good thing for you.
1.35 months inventory. Yeah. That's low.
Right? That's almost like COVID levels, just to give everybody perspective.
Yeah. Wow. Mm-hmm. Well, that actually correlates into my next stat, and that is the average days on market for the Newport Richey area, and that is down to 31. So if you're a buyer, we suggest that if you want to make a move, write that offer before your next dentist appointment. If you're a seller, oh, you thought that was funny?
Yeah, I like that. That was a good one.
If you're a seller, if you price your home correctly, you're probably going to get it under contract, within a month, which is fantastic, 30 days or less. But that is if you price it correctly. So overall, the market is pretty healthy. Sellers who are pricing their homes are selling it in less than 30 days. Buyers, if you're interested in this area, you got to move quickly.
Yep. And speaking of, pricing it right, just to give you the flip side of that. If you're a seller, obviously we're sharing all this good news and you're like, oh, great, there's demand. I can price my house whatever I want. That's not actually the case. We actually ended May as we roll into June. 35 people tried that strategy where they went on market, they put a price, but it wasn't realistic, and they hit that ceiling. So even though we have this supply issue and we have more demand that's available, buyers still know that there is a certain threshold where they're not willing to pay over. So that is the one big caveat difference versus what COVID was doing, where everybody was just overbidding and overpaying. Like people kind of learned their lesson from that. So yeah, 35 sellers learned the hard way that the buyers still have a ceiling of what they're willing to pay. So
Yeah.
reality check, you have to price it appropriately on what the market's doing and the conditions, so that way you can end up with your real goal, which is moving.
All right. And so for our last stat, we have how many homes actually sold in the new Port Richey market through the month of June. And that number is 267. And that is up 31.5% from last year, which was 203. This is the most sales all along the 54 corridor and Suncoast, believe it or not.
Oh, nice.
Probably because the price points are very appealing. So if you're a seller, this is great. 31%, 32% more sales than last year.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if you price your property correctly, it is going to sell and you are going to win.
You know what I think this also kind of tells us too? Remember how for the last like 2 years we've had a ton of buyers that were on the market or just on the sidelines.
Yeah.
They were waiting because of the whole interest rates. I think seeing these stats and where the amount of sales are coming from are like all those people who were they weren't in, they wanted to be first time home buyers, realizing that the interest rates aren't going to be back in the threes. And so they're like, you know what, it's better just to get what we want, live in a house that we enjoy, and then we can always figure out the interest rate situation later, but at least we're locked in because now they're getting a great affordable house.
Yeah, and in this particular market, with the median sale price dropping from 300 to 275, it makes homes more affordable for the average person.
Exactly. So I think it's definitely a win for everybody.
Cool.
Got that. So we'll wrap up when it comes to new Port Richey. Just to let you know, if you're buying or selling, we want to hear from you. We love giving you real talk, sharing exactly like this kind of stats and specifically your situation on what makes sense. So that way you can make the best informed decision for your circumstances. We help clients on both sides, buyers or sellers, every single week, and we'll tell you exactly where you stand. So if you happen to be a client who has been working with another agent and maybe they're just telling you what you want to hear and you're not getting the results you are seeking, we're here and we're ready to have that conversation with you. Because I'm Annie O. This is Jimmy B. Oh man, I messed that up. Just kidding. He's Jimmy B. I'm Annie O. And we're the realtors you need to know. See ya.